Start your class.
Okay. Very good morning to all of you. This is Abhilasha, your social science teacher, and today we are going to continue our chapter 1 of your geography book, that is resources. Okay. So, class, in our last class, what we have discussed, we discussed about the human made resources. So, what are human made resources? Those resources which are created by human beings or produced by human beings. They make natural resources into useful products. That is known as human made resources. Okay. And some of the examples of human made resources are just as you all see in your screen: roads, cars, bridges, buildings, laptops, mobiles, etc. All these things are human made resources. After that, we discussed about human resources. So what are human resources? People itself are human resources. Okay. So people's knowledge, skill, their technology, their abilities, right? It is mentally or physically. All these things refers to human resources. Okay. So today we after that we discuss about the human resource development, how we can improve the quality of people. Okay, we can improve the quality of people's skills, people knowledge by education and health. Those are known as human resource development. If we improve the quality of people's skills, they all are able to create more useful resources, more useful products. Okay. So it is important for any country, for any economy, to work on their human resources, to work on the people of to work on the education and health on uh, health on their citizens. Okay. So, class, today we are going to start our new topic, that is conserving resources. Now, what do you mean by the term conserving resources? Conserving means something which we can preserve. Okay, so we all are supposed to preserve our resources, conserve our resources. And why it is important to conserve our resources, we are going to discuss it. So, now just look at this picture. So in this picture, Mona is dreaming. Take care. So what she is dreaming, what she had dreamt about. So Mona had a nightmare. She dreamt that all the water on the earth had dried up and all the trees cut down. There was no shade and nothing to eat or drink. People were suffering and roaming around desperately, looking for food and shade. She told her mother about the dream. So her mother replied, uh, "Yes. If we are not careful, then even renewable resources like plants, water, renewable resources too can become very scarce, and the non-renewable ones can definitely get exhausted." So, uh, दिस इज ऑल अबाउट मोनाज ड्रीम. ठीक है, उसने देखा कि जितना भी पानी है हमारे अर्थ का, जितने भी वो क्या हो चुका है, सूख चुका है. जितने भी ट्रीज हैं उनको कट कर दिया गया. तो लोगों के पास, पीपल के पास ट्रीज ही नहीं है शेड लेने के लिए, छांव, पेड़ की छांव छांव लेनी. पेड़ ही नहीं है तो छांव कहाँ से लेंगे. उनके पास कुछ खाने को नहीं है, ना ही कुछ पीने को है. तो ऑब्वियसली लोग क्या हो चुके हैं, बहुत ज्यादा बीमार हो चुके हैं. लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, इधर उधर घूम रहे हैं. किस लिए घूम रहे हैं? पानी के लिए, कि उनको पेड़ की छांव मिल सके. इसलिए वो लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, घूम रहे हैं. तो शी हैड दिस नाइटमेयर, और उसने अपनी मदर को ये बताया, और उसकी मदर ने बोला कि अगर हम केयरफुल नहीं रहेंगे हमारे रिसोर्सेज के लिए, तो जो रेन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज है, what are renewable resources? Renewable resources like plants, water, trees. These are renewable resources and can be renewed. We can renew it. We can regrow it. But if we are not careful about using of these resources, it will get scarce one day. खत्म हो जाएगा ये सब. और जो non renewable resources हैं, like coal, petrol, minerals, all those resources got exhausted one day if you are not careful while using the resources. So uh, it is our duty to use our resources very carefully. Okay, so this is all about Mona's dream. So now what is this conserving resources? Conserving resources or conservation of resources refers to using natural resources carefully so that they could be renewed and continue to be used in future. Okay, क्या होता है conserving resources? ऐसे resources जिनको हम क्या कर सकते हैं, नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज जिनको हमें केयरफुली यूज करना चाहिए और जो रिन्यू कर सकते हैं और फ्यूचर में हम यूज कर सकते हैं, दैट इज नोन एज कंजर्वेशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेज. So using resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed is called resource conservation. And we should balance the need to use resources and also conserve them for the future. And it is known as sustainable use of resources. What do you mean by the term sustainable use of resources? Sustainable use of resources, it means when we balance the need to use resources and we conserve them for future generation. Just like you all are future generation. If we suppose if we use all the resources right now, what you can use in your future? You can't use them, na? If it all got exhausted, you can't use them, right? So careful use of resources is very necessary. If we don't use the resources very carefully, then one day it all got exhausted. Okay, and we will feel so empty. We will roam here and there for our basic needs. We all got disease, we all got ill because we don't have resources with us to use it properly, right? So we all should use the resources very carefully, and we should use those resources which we can renew it. Okay, so it is our duty to ensure that all uses of renewable resources are sustainable. If you're using water, use it carefully. If you're using faucet, or you can you are opening the tap water, then when you are not in the use of that water, tap water, close it. Okay, for example, while brushing your teeth, don't open it all the time. Okay, when you need water, then you can then you all are supposed to open that faucet. Okay, so the diversity of life on the earth should be conserved. So what do you mean by the term diversity? We all discussed this term in our earlier classes also. We studied about it. Diversity means differences. Okay, so there are so many different types of life living on the earth. Okay, like example, human beings, plants, animals, birds, uh, marine animals, etc. So we should respect them and we should conserve them. Okay, and how we can conserve the resources? For example, we can use baskets. We can use baskets from bamboo sticks. Okay, we can use paper bags. Instead of using plastic bags, we can use paper bags. Okay, we should not waste paper also. Okay, so we can use those paper which is waste. Okay, so even we should switch off the electricity buttons when we are not using it. For example, if you are not using fan or light, switch off the lights, switch off the fan button, okay, because you are not using it. And from where we all get the electricity, electricity comes from water and coal. Okay, water is renewable resource, coal is non renewable resource, but both of these resources are very important for our nature, for very important for our earth, very important for our future generation also. So we should use these resources very carefully, and we should give them time to get renewed. Okay, so the damage to natural environment system should be minimized. Okay, for example, damage, what how we are damaging, we are damaging by for example, so many construction activities are going on, not construction activities, mining activities. We are taking all the resources from the womb of the earth. Okay, so what we are doing, we are like damaging it. We are using water. Take care, we are using water. We are like using paper, we are using uh, plastic bags, etc. All these things, okay, we are using it even when we don't need to use it. So we should damage our natural environment, we should minimize the damage of our natural environment. Okay, and we can contribute it by reducing consumption, recycling, and reusing things. For example, if you purchase the bottle of jam, okay, you can after um, uh, as soon as that jar got empty, you can use that jar for conserving resources. So no, sorry, for preserving goods. Okay, for using it for keep different things on that jar. Okay, so we can so we can contribute by reducing consumption. We should reduce our consumption. Okay, we can recycle it. We can recycle the products, like for example, the paper, the newspaper you got at your you are getting at your home. That newspaper should be that newspaper can recycle, we can recycle it. Okay, like जो कबाड़ी वाले भैया आते हैं उनको हम दे देते हैं ना न्यूज़पेपर्स और plastics. What they are doing with that products, they recycle it. Okay, उन्हें recycle करते हैं और उसको दूसरा useful product में change कर देते हैं. Okay, so we should make sure that water is not wasted at our home, at our school. Okay, every drop of water is very precious. Every light, the light we are getting from electricity is precious. We should switch off the lights and switch off the fan buttons when they are not in use. Okay, so together we can make a difference. We all should work on it. We all should conserve those resources. Now there is an activity for you. You all are supposed to write any 5 ways to conserve resources. This is your homework. You all are supposed to write any 5 ways to conserve resources. Okay, so if you want to take a screenshot of this screen, you can take screenshot or write the question. I will ask you in my next class, or you can send me in my WhatsApp number also after doing that activity. Write any 5 ways to conserve resources. Okay. Okay, so I'm further. So there are some principles of conserving resources. What are the principles? So some of the principles of conserving resources are respect and care for all forms of life. All forms of life, human beings, animals, birds, plants, insects, fish, everything. We should respect and care for all forms of life. Second one is improve the quality of human life. We should improve we should improve our life. How we can improve the quality of our life? We can improve it by using more and more organic products, by using uh, mm, more and more natural products on natural resources, renewable resources. Okay, so we can instead, like, for example, instead of using plastic bags, we should use paper bags or cloth bags. Okay, instead of using you can say petrol, we can use CNG. So by using, or we can use by using the substitute of different materials, we can improve the quality of life more. We should use more sustainable resources. Okay, now third one is minimize the depletion of natural resources. Minimize the depletion of natural resources. It means we should not destroy. Depletion means destroy. Okay, destruction. We should minimize the depletion of natural resources. For example, the coal. We are getting coal, we are getting metals from after doing mining. Okay, they are very limited in stock. So we should minimize the destruction of our natural resources. For example, for construction of road, for construction of bridges, अगर आप कभी उत्तराखंड गए हैं या फिर कोई हिली एरिया में गए हो, वहां पे रोड्स का कंस्ट्रक्शन हो रहा है. So for constructing that, for the construction of that road, what people are doing? People are destroying the natural environment. Like माउंटेन्स को, हिल्स को क्या कर रहे हैं? वो कट कर रहे हैं. उससे क्या होगा? लैंडस्लाइड्स होंगे. सो वी शुड मिनिमाइज द डिप्लीशन ऑफ नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज. ओके, चेंज पर्सनल एटीट्यूड एंड प्रैक्टिसेस टुवर्ड्स द एनवायरमेंट. कि हमारा जो पर्सनल एटीट्यूड है, ठीक है, वी शुड चेंज दैट पर्सनल एटीट्यूड एंड द प्रैक्टिसेस टुवर्ड्स एनवायरमेंट. फॉर एग्जांपल, वी शुड नॉट कट trees. we should uh, we should know how all these resources are very important, and very important for our mother earth and for ourselves also, and for other living beings also. Okay, for example, destruction of killing of animals, deforestation. These are like some of the examples. We are not our attitude is not good for our environment. Okay, for example, we are polluting our water, polluting our river. So we should not do this. And if somebody is doing it, we should stop them from doing that thing. Okay, conserve the earth's vitality. It means vitality means life. Conserve the earth's vitality and diversity. We should conserve earth's life. Okay, most of the as you have seen or heard about it, like many animals, like for example dinosaurs got extinct. ठीक है, तो ऐसे बहुत सारे plants भी है, animals भी है जो extinct हो रहे हैं, और they are in endanger, they are endangered. Okay, like बहुत ही limited रह चुके हैं. तो we should conserve our earth's vitality, earth's life, because directly or indirectly we all are independent to other living organism. Okay, so that is ecosystem which we already discussed about in our earlier classes. So we are directly or indirectly, we all are independent, we all are dependent on earth's other lives, and so we should conserve earth's vitality or life, or earth's diversity. Okay, so enable communicates to care for their own environment. We should work for our environment. We should speak up for our environment. Like we should not cut the forest. We should not we should grow more and more plants. We should not pollute our water. we should minimize the use of electricity. Whenever there is no need of using electricity, then don't use it. Switch off all the lights, fans, AC, coolers, or whatever you are using, whatever the product we are using with the help of electricity. We should, when we are not using those that resource, we should, what we all are supposed to do, we all are supposed to minimize it. We all are supposed to switch off those lights and switches. Okay, so class, so the future of our planet and its people is linked with our ability to maintain and preserve the life support system that nature provides. Nature is providing the life supporting system to us, and we should preserve it and we should maintain it. It is only our ability to maintain it. Okay, so therefore it is our duty to ensure that all uses of renewable resources are sustainable, कि सस्टेनेबली उसे यूज किया जाए, बैलेंस करके यूज किया जाए, जिससे कि फ्यूचर जनरेशन भी उसे इजीली क्या कर पाए, यूज कर सके. Okay, we should respect all the diversity of life on the earth is conserved. We should conserve the vitality or diversity of life. Okay, the damage to natural environmental system is minimized. We should minimize the depletion of natural resources, the damage we are doing to our natural environment system. We should minimize it. Okay, it is our duty to preserve and conserve all those resources, because resources are the most important thing in our life. Okay, water, electricity, air, all these things. What are these things? These things are very important to us. We can't survive if we don't have water, if we don't have air, fresh air to breathe, right? So we should conserve it. It is our duty to use all those resources sustainably, and we should substitute the non-renewable resources uh, through sustainable resources or renewable resources. So class, this is all about this chapter. Go through this. Thank you very much. Go through this chapter, read this chapter, and if you face any problem, do ask me, message me, or call me till 6 o'clock. Okay, you all are not supposed to call me after 6 o'clock or message me after 6 o'clock. If you face any problem, message me. Okay, we will discuss it on our next class about it. Okay, thank you so much. So let's revise this topic once again, what we have done in this chapter. So first of all, we understood what is a resource. Resource क्या होता है? What is a resource? Resource, all the yes. So what are resources? Anything that can be used to satisfy a need is a resource. Okay. After that, we talked about some of the examples of resources. For example, electricity, which we are using in our home, water we drink is a resource. Okay. After that, we talked about utility. What is a utility? Utility or usability is what makes an object or substance a resource. Okay, and usability, like for example, what is if we are using textbook, so we are using it for getting knowledge. If we are using rickshaw, we are using rickshaw for moving from one place to another place. Okay, so it is utility, it's usability. Okay, after that we talked about value. What is value? Value means worth. Okay, so some products have economic value and some do not have, but both economic value and both all the resources giving us some kind of satisfaction. I gave you the example of metals. Metals are of economic value, while the beautiful landscape or scenery is an example of non is of non-economic value, but it is satisfying our need. Okay, after that we talked about how some resources become economically valuable with time. Okay, I gave you the example of our grandmother's recipe and how her recipe got patented. What is the meaning of patent? It means the exclusive right over any idea or invention. Okay, so any कोई भी हमारा राइट है, ठीक है, कि हम कोई भी इन्वेंशन कर रहे हैं उसको अगर हम नहीं चाहते कि हमारा आइडिया कोई यूज करे तो वो नहीं कर सकता है, हम उस आइडिया को पेटेंट करवा लेते हैं. ओके, after that we talked about time and technology, how both of these factors can change substance into useful resources, and how people themselves are most important resource. Okay, each discovery or invention leads to many others, and it is known as development. Like for example, I gave you the example of fire and wheel. Early men discovered fire, and after the discovery of fire we started cooking. Early men discovered wheel. After that we started making different modes of transport also. Okay, after that we talked about like types of resources. Three types of resources are there: natural resource, human made resource, and human resource. Okay, so natural resources that are drawn from nature and used without much modification are called natural resources. For example, water, air, coal, soil, oil, natural gas. All these are the free gifts of nature, and we are getting all these resources from nature. Okay. After that, we classified natural resources on the basis on different levels. So, on the basis of development, it is actual resource and potential resources. Okay, on the basis of origin, it is biotic and abiotic resources. On the basis of stock, it is renewable and non-renewable resources. On the basis of distribution, it is ubiquitous and localized resources. Okay, so after that we talked about human made resources. Okay, what are human made resources? Those resources which are created from the natural resources to produce useful products, that are known as human made resources. And human resources, people's skill, people's knowledge, people's ability to discover new things and invent new things is known as human resources. People's ideas, knowledge, skill, all these are human resources. Okay, and human resource development, we need to, if we want to improve the quality of our people's skill, we should contribute ourselves into education and health. Then conserving resources, we should conserve our resources, we should preserve our resources. Okay, and conserve our resources, preserve our resources, and preserve our resources sustainably by carefully utilizing the resources and balancing the needs to use resources and also conserve them for our future generation. It is known as sustainable use of resources, and it is our duty to ensure that all the resources are sustainable. Okay, after that, we talked about some principles of conserving resources, like we should respect and care for all forms of life, improve the quality of human life, minimize the depletion of natural resources. We should change our personal attitude and practice towards the environment. We should conserve the earth's vitality. So all these are some of the principle of conserving resources. So this is all about this chapter. So now I will send you the PDF work. Okay, so before that, what you all are supposed to do, you all please, if you have book with you, please open page number 7 of your book. There is an activity. रहीमन पानी राखिए बिन पानी सब सून पानी गए न उबरे मोती मानुस चून. So says Rahim, keep water as without water there is nothing. Without water, pearl, swan, and dove cannot exist. Okay, so we all are supposed to write about what would happen if this resource, if water got disappeared. क्या होगा? You all are supposed to write in 100 words that what could happen if water resource got disappeared. Okay, this doha that Rahman pani rakhiye bin pani sabsoon pani gaye na ubre moti manus choon. This was these lines were written by Abdur Rahman Khan Khana, and he was one of the 9 gems of Akbar Court. He wrote this doha, and now what you all are supposed to do? You all are supposed to write about what would happen if water got disappeared. Okay, so I will ask you tomorrow about this activity. Okay.